The Epstein files, a scandal that exposed power, silence, and a broken system. In 2019, the world was told a simple story. A wealthy financier named Jeffrey Epstein was arrested for sex trafficking. Weeks later, he was found dead in a federal jail. Case closed. But almost immediately, one question refused to go away. How did one man gain access to presidents, princes, billionaires, and intelligence circles, yet face almost no consequences for decades? This is not just the story of Jeffrey Epstein. This is the story of the Epstein files and what they reveal about power, protection, and silence at the highest levels of society. Level 1. Who was Jeffrey Epstein? Jeffrey Epstein presented himself as a mysterious financial genius. He had no clearly defined client list, no public investment firm, yet he lived like a billionaire. And he owned a private island in the U.S. Virgin Islands, multiple luxury mansions, a private jet later nicknamed the Lolita Express. Epstein claimed he managed money for the ultra-wealthy. In reality, very few people could explain how he made his fortune. What we do know is this. By the early 2000s, Epstein was already accused of sexually abusing underage girls, often recruiting them through other victims. Level 2. The 2008 Plea Deal, a warning sign. In 2008, Epstein was charged in Florida with multiple counts involving minors, but instead of facing serious prison time, something shocking happened. Epstein received a secret plea deal, just 13 months in county jail. Work release that allowed him to leave jail 6 days a week. Most federal prosecutors were not informed. Victims were not informed. Later, a federal judge ruled that this deal violated victims' rights. This moment is critical because it showed that Epstein was not being treated like a normal defendant. Someone, somewhere, was protecting him. Level 3. Power, connections, and access. After his plea deal, Epstein didn't disappear. Instead, he continued socializing with politicians, Wall Street executives, royal family members, scientists and academics. Media figures, photographs, and flight logs confirmed meetings with powerful individuals. Important point: being associated with Epstein does not automatically mean guilt. However, the sheer number of elite connections raised serious concerns. Why did so many powerful people tolerate him? Why was his criminal history ignored? This is where the term Epstein files began gaining traction, referring to documents, flight logs, court records, and sealed testimonies. Level 4. The media gap. One of the most disturbing aspects of the Epstein case is how long it stayed out of mainstream headlines. For years, major outlets barely covered the story. Investigations stalled. Journalists later admitted their stories were killed. In 2019, a leaked video showed a major news anchor saying the Epstein story had been shut down years earlier. This raised a difficult question. If the media exists to hold power accountable, why did it fail here? Level 5. Intelligence Agency. Theories clearly labeled. Now we enter a sensitive area. Some former intelligence officials and investigative journalists have suggested that Epstein may have acted as a facilitator, a blackmail operator, or a person of interest to intelligence agencies. There is no confirmed evidence proving Epstein worked directly for any intelligence service. However, his access to elites, his immunity from prosecution, his international operations have fueled ongoing speculation. It is important to separate documented facts from unproven theories, but also to acknowledge why such questions exist. Level 6. The missing and sealed files. After Epstein's death, the public expected transparency. Instead, many records remained sealed, redacted, or delayed for years. Court documents referenced John Doe's, anonymous co-conspirators, undisclosed witnesses. Some names were released years later, but many details are still hidden. This secrecy has damaged public trust, because when evidence is hidden, people assume the worst. Level 7. Epstein was not the system. He exploited it. Here is the most important conclusion. Jeffrey Epstein did not create corruption. He exposed it. His case revealed a justice system that treats the powerful differently, media institutions vulnerable to influence, a culture where money creates immunity. Epstein didn't survive for decades because he was clever alone. He survived because the system allowed him to, and when he died, accountability died with him. Conclusion: why this story still matters. The Epstein files are not about conspiracy obsession. They are about accountability. They remind us that transparency matters. Justice must be equal. Silence protects predators. Until all files are released, all questions answered, and all failures acknowledged, this story is not over. If you believe powerful people should face the same justice as everyone else, subscribe for deeper investigations like this. Because some stories are buried for a reason.